Hi guys, Ray here. Welcome back to Flat is Fast Stage 3. This one's on London Flat. If you look at the graphic on the left, you'll see it's not exactly flat compared to some of the other sections, but 24k, 230 metres of climbing. And let's get the racing going. As you see most times on these Zwift races, straight out the blocks, high watts getting pumped out straight away before it settles down. It was good to see on this that I had a teammate in here from the Army Cycling as well, in Craig. We race together quite regularly, especially on we're on the same Zwift Racing League team. On Tuesday night he dragged me round quite a bit for the second half of the race. Really strong rider, always game for a good race. Straight away you'll see Craig pushes all the way to the front, trying to get the pace nice and high. For some reason my chat wasn't showing up on the screen there, but I did just message him saying get off the front. That's why he says lol. He's a racer at heart, really likes to kind of chase down stuff and keep the pace quite high. But in these kind of races, sometimes it's about conserving energy and saving it for the right moment. So although this is Flat is Fast, this is the first climb that you come to, and obviously this is a 2-lap race, so we'll do this twice. The climbing portal, as you see, is a bit deceiving to start with. I think I've mentioned that in previous videos, is try to get your mindset in there that it could change with a different turn or something. But as you'll see, everyone's pumping out big watts, goes to about 5%, and the pack really stretches out throughout. And it's I don't panic, just make sure I can stay within touching distance, and as soon as it flattens out I just get back on the back and keep recovering. So that hill was the first test for me. So on Wednesday I did my first cyclocross race. There's me looking all fine and dandy seconds before I'm about to come off, and on the last lap I slipped, front wheel went out and I went over the handlebars, my knee hit the handlebars, so a little bruised. This race was kind of the first test to see if I had anything in it, and that first hill it did seem to be okay. Again, as you'll see, Craig is getting tooled off, but he likes to chase down stuff. Another incline, nothing too major. Pack gets up there pretty steady. While I'm getting the excuses in, I also did a boot run this morning since I'm in the army, a best effort 3k. So that took it out of me a little bit. So we're now moving down into the underground section. At the end of this, I believe it's called the elevator ramp or something like that. But the key for that is to try and stay near the front as much as you can. Get out the saddle, get some watts down, so you're in the front pack once you crest the top. This can be a launch pad for attacks on some races, I have seen it, but the key point is once you're at the top, you're in the front pack. Those behind are chasing on to try to get back to the pack, so kind of burning energy. And there is like a slight little incline there going over that bridge, but then the pack's back together. The pace was relatively high on this throughout. Was kind of stayed normally above 40k, and at times kind of sitting in around the 50k area. So as we're coming into the last 5k of the first lap, it's the first of kind of 2 ramps. So this is kind of a good sighter on lap 1 to see if this is good enough to be maybe a launch pad for an attack to maybe go on a breakaway for the last 4k. But straight over the top then there's a 4%, 5% decline. So it might be quite difficult to use that as a launch pad and get away. and then straight away this is very rolling all the way around here, but the pack seems to stay together. We didn't drop many off the back to start with, so it's looks like it's going to possibly go down to a sprint. So going into this tunnel, this bit's a bit sneaky because the climbing portal doesn't come up, but it is a 3% rise, and then it goes into the climb a little bit later. So again, with 2k to go of the lap, you've got to be mindful of where some attacks might go off at the front. And then straight away we're straight into the second ramp, this one hitting up at 6%. I dropped off the back a little bit, was not paying attention, so just had to get out the saddle and sprint to get back on, but straight away there's a 6% and decline and a little bit of a rolling section for everyone to get back on. And then we're under the banner where we get a power up. So looking at the 600, 500 left of the lap, I like to look at where the 300 marker is for me, and it's that bus stop on the left. Normally like to start my sprint in and around the 300 section. A lot of people now have used their power up. I hadn't hit mine just as we came through the start finish point, and unfortunately we didn't get another power up, so I think that was a bit of a schoolboy by everyone. Normally every banner that you go under gives you a power up, so if you've got one, you can hit it just before, and then you'll get the use of that one and then another one added. But it was kind of interesting to know that we didn't get one there, so for later on in the race, it's mindful to be sparing with whatever power up you get. So the first lap was pretty quick. I suspect when we get onto this climb, we'll push it a little bit harder, just to see if we can thin the herd out a little bit. And we are hitting 6 watts or 7 watts at some points, as people are trying to make sure that the bunch sprint at the end is as small as possible. But I don't panic. I know once we're over the top I can kind of get back on, so I'll just sit at the back and try and conserve a bit of energy, even though at points I'm still pumping out 7 watts per kilo. And Craig's still sitting near the front doing work. Now at this point someone goes off the front, and I did message Craig saying don't chase him down, the pack will catch him up, and he's only a few seconds ahead, you can see in the mini map in the top right corner, but there's still 9k to go, but the racer in Craig puts him to the front and he starts the chase, and it gets everyone up, and as you can see, we're above 50k an hour, so the chase is on. So as we get to the bottom of this small climb, we do close up to the lone rider quite quickly, and like I said, it's very hard in this flat as fast series for any breakaways to stay away, because they keep the pace high, and you see there we were hitting 60k an hour, and then we're back onto the flat and it's back to 45 up to 50k an hour. Again, we're coming through the underground bit, so we will then hit the elevator ramp, and as with the first lap, I suspect this one's going to go a bit crazier, so everyone gets near the front this time, realises big watts getting pushed out this time, but it's important that this is where a launch pad can happen because it's so close to the end, and you'll see the pack fractures quite a bit, and it takes a little bit for everyone to get back together. So that's the pack back together over that rise, with the other next climb coming up very soon. but with less than 5k to go, I suspect the pace is going to be kept pretty high throughout, and everyone's just going to be, as you see, people are pumping out big numbers straight away, just trying to get away. Even though the climbs are not long, the ramps, it is all degrading to your legs throughout, but I don't panic. I just sit on the back, use the draft as much as I can, because if you're at the front, you're doing some work. One thing you would have just seen there was I went from the back to near the front quite quickly, because I do have steering, so I am using the Zwift ride on corners to kind of position myself, and you very quickly can go from the back to the front if you use it correctly. So I'd advise everyone getting either Zwift Play or one of the Zwift rides to kind of help with that. It can be really tactical on some of these races. Should say at this point, my knee feels alright actually. Going into this last climb with a couple of k to go, I've got the mindset now of I just need to stay out of trouble and just stay at the back of the big pack, and just try not to do any work on the front whatsoever, and let everyone else tire themselves out hopefully. But as you'll see, Craig goes straight to the front again. Normally for our Zwift Racing League races, we're normally on Discord, so we can talk to each other. For some reason we didn't set it up tonight, because I would have been telling him to get off the front and just sit in the pack, because he's a really strong rider, so if it comes to a bunch sprint, he could win it. So just under a k to go. I got the aero power up. I think everyone's hitting their power ups now. But I'm kind of waiting until the 300 metre mark like I normally do. But I did see a video the other day saying for a sprint, drop off the pack first so no one can see your numbers. But a couple of times I tried sprinting and realised there's just nothing in my knee whatsoever. I finished quite a disappointing 15th. I think Craig finished 8th, I think. My racing score went up by 1 point, so that's not too bad. But I might give this a shot on Sunday. Give my knee a bit of a rest tomorrow and see how it goes. Although it is my birthday on Sunday, so I'll be turning 42. So it'd be nice to get one of these done and maybe get a win as well. So looking at Zwift Power, I actually got 13th, so 2 people must not be on Zwift Power or been disqualified. I really hope for a win in this series at some point. So you'll see there, stage 1, I managed a 3rd place. And stage 2, I managed a 2nd place. So I was kind of hoping at some point, maybe without that crash, I might have done a little bit better. But there is 2 more days to go on stage 3, so I'll see how I feel in the morning, but I'm predominantly aiming for maybe Sunday. And I might try the other bracket as well, because this was the 450 to 570, I think. And my racing score is 466, so I'm kind of at the bottom end of that. So I might try one of the other ones. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll record stage 4 when I do that at some point. And I might record the Zwift Racing League race on Tuesday, depending on how we get on. See you next time.